Hello there, this is Carlo. Welcome yet to another After Effects tutorial where I'm going to be showing you how to do the Alien introduction or the opening credits, shall I say, to the iconic Alien movie. Now, this is mostly based around the text appearing in sections here. As you can see, it's appearing in sections, which is what the opening sequence to Alien is most iconic for. Now, I won't lie to you, this is probably one of the longest After Effects composites I've ever done. This is very, very time consuming and it's quite painstaking, but the rewards are quite positive, as you can see. Now, obviously, it's about sort of getting it right. Obviously, the opening sequence to Alien holds a special place in a lot of people's hearts. So, yeah, it's about getting it right. So, I've got this image, which I downloaded, shall I say, off the internet. And basically, what it is, it's the sequence of how the text appears in the opening credits. So I will add this little picture in the description below. So if you head over to the media file link in the description below, you'll be able to download this so you can animate the titles in the correct way. So yeah, let's basically get cracking. So because this is very, very painstaking, I had to sort of create each of these separately using a font. Now, this obviously is done in After Effects, and then for editing, we're going to be using Premiere Pro to basically edit all this sequence together. I'm not going to do the total sequence because this takes absolutely ages to do, but I'm going to give you a rough idea of how to do it, and then it's down to you to sort of go with the flow and obviously complete it from what I've shown you. So let's get cracking. So first of all, we need to create the text. Now, this is very, very easy, guys. I'm going to create a new composition, and I want to keep it 1 second long because I want the text to appear as an image. Now, the way I do that is I use Arial bold. So for instance, let's go cap and let's go A. So I want to type in A, and if we look at, let me just find my picture again on my desktop. Okay, this is the image sequence. As you can see with the A, the way it appears, it sort of cuts from here and around. So we need to sort of create that look. So we're just going to zoom in and just sort of bring that dead center, and then we're just going to use our pencil to carefully mask out that part of the A. Now, as you can see, we need to get it flush, so we're going to zoom right in, guys, and we're just going to straighten up this, being very careful we don't go over the black, because once we take this into Premiere Pro, if there's a bit of black showing like that, you're going to sort of notice it in the composition. So we're going to basically do this for every single part of the Alien titles, and you basically simply going to go to composition, add to render queue, and then you're going to basically format it or render it, shall I say, as a JPEG sequence, and then simply label it as 1, so you know which sort of sequence the credits are going in. So for instance, if I open up my picture again, you know, this is the first bit, but I've done this bit, so this would be 2 and 3, so 1, 2, 3, 4, until you sort of get the whole thing. So save it and simply render it through, which should be quite quick. And then all you're doing basically is cutting out. So you're cutting out for the rest of the sequence Let me just hide After Effects for a minute. You're basically cutting out all the letters using Arial bold until you've got everything already done. Now I've done a couple here to start off with. Like I said, I'm not going to do the lot because it does take some time, and I'm just going to basically show you how you would sort of edit that together. Now let's jump into Premiere Pro. I want to import that composition folder with all this, and just pretend that you've completed the whole lot. Yeah, let's just pretend. Alright, and then so you've got your 1, let's just double click on that. 2 is the same, so we need 3 to go in there. Let's import 3 as well. Okay, we've got 2 ones. Let me just double check that. No, so okay. So what you can do is just rename these how you sort of see fit. So because I've just rendered that one through, I'm just going to delete that, so I've got that. Okay, so first of all, you're going to drop this into your window. Now the thing with this, it's all based on timing. This sequence is based on sort of how the score is played. So I suggest you get yourself a copy of the Alien score or the opening sequence. If you go to YouTube, as I've got here, there's loads, there's quite a few full scores. The titles, opening title was only 1 minute 44 of the original, so you're going to make this composition 1 minute 44 anyway, and the best way is to, as you're editing, listen to the score so you can basically get it in sequence. Now here's the trick. When we bring our background, and you can use any background you want, I've got this one of Alien Isolation, for instance. This also moves as well. So if we double click on this, this is just Alien Isolation thing that I'm just going to scale up for an example. So if I just get this image and drop it basically on top, as you can see, it's basically covered our text. So what I'm going to do with this, I'm going to go to effects. This is my picture. I'm going to scale that right, not that one, sorry. I'm going to scale the picture. Where are we? This one, and let's just scale it right up. And just make out this is the picture you want to use. Let's just scale it right up. Let's just bring that along to about here. And then you're basically going to go to your text layer, which is here. Now that's hidden, so we're going to add an effect to that, and that's called Luma key. And this is the Luma key, and we're just simply going to drop that on top of our text layer. We've just added that twice, if I'm not mistaken. No, that's absolutely fine. So as you can see, our text is now over our picture. So let's just bring this down a bit. Let's just, yeah, that's the one, and let's just go 10%, as you can see, and then we can scale that picture up. Let's go to our text. Sorry, let's go to our text. Make sure we find out which one's our text. So that's our JPEG, so sorry about that, guys. Let's just bring this in. Let's go to fit. Okay, so let's drop this on top. This is our first letter, and as you can see now, we can play around with the scale and the position of our text. If you go to effects, and you want to play around with the threshold of the Luma key, so you can bring that. You've got to be very careful, because then you end up seeing the black mask that we did when we created it, shall I say. So let's drop that down. Let's get rid of that. Right, okay. Now the idea is to fade this according to the sequence. So say for instance we put it here, I'm going to add a transition so that starts to appear there. Now if you click on the transition itself, we can play around with the length basically of the transition to make it longer or shorter, and that's when the actual project becomes painstaking for editing reasons. But if you want to animate this picture as well, all you're doing is you're going to select this picture, go to basically the start, make sure your picture is selected, which is here. Let's add a ripple effect. Let's just click on that and then let's just bring it down. Let's make it appear more quickly. And say about here. Let's make sure it's highlighted, and you see where it says position. What we're going to do is we're going to hit position, and then you're going to bring it to the length of the whole comp, okay? And then basically you're going to double click and you just basically move the picture over slowly. And as you can see, we're basically creating a little keyframe here with point of origin. So if we go back, as you can see, basically the titles are moving. And then basically what you want to do, guys, is you basically want to repeat this process for the entire duration of the animation. So we've got our the other side of our text. We're going to scale that down, and we're just going to put it into a decent position. If you want, you can check the previous scale, so that's 490 by 50. We can select on this one and we can go 490.50. Oh, that's a bit too heavy, that. Let's go back. And all we're doing is basically putting it into sorry about that, guys, a decent position. And then all you're doing is you're adding in another ripple effect, click on the ripple and then lengthen it and basically editing it so it appears at the right point that you want it to appear. And then you just keep going. So now we've got our third bit of title, which is actually the first thing that appears. I've done this absolutely the wrong way around, but I suppose as long as you get the gist of what the tutorial is all about, that's the main thing. So we're just going to basically drop that up here, and then with this selected, we're just going to put that into a position, and then we're going to go back to effects, drop our Luma key on top of that, and then put that into a position where we want. So that'll basically go dead center, and you can come up to here and you can go safety margin, and obviously that is the center of the screen, so it's going to be about there. Scale it down a bit. And this technique, this piece of editing, shall I say, is all about timing, going with the actual flow, shall I say, of the soundtrack, and making sure that it runs in sequence. So as you can see, you're sort of getting a rough idea of how this effect works. So once you've done that, you can go to new, say you've completed the whole project, you go to a new adjustment layer. You can drop the adjustment layer on the top shelf here, fill up your comp until it's finished, and then with this we can add other effects to finish off the production. So you can go crop, for instance, and you can put a crop on it. Let's go to effects, put say 10, like so. I'm not happy with this eye, shall I say. So we can select the eye. No, that's the wrong one. Select the eye and let's scale it down just a touch. position, and then you can use this for position as well, guys. Yeah, let's go to undo, select our eye, and then we can use this to move it around and get it in the position we want. I've just messed up my scale. And say for instance you've completed your whole production, you've got your crop in, then you can go to color grade with your layer selected. Now I've got quite a few LUT packs from True Films, and in my creative side I've actually got an Alien Rec 709 grade, so I'll put that in, bring the intensity up on that, and then I'll go to basic color correction, and then I'll bring the orange up. Right, so maybe add a small grain. Let's go to effects and type grain, and let's get, or noise shall I say, put a bit of noise on there, and let's put that to say about 3 or maybe 4. So we've got a bit of noise, and then your animation should like come together quite sweetly, as you can see when we scan it through. Once you get your timing right and your positions right, your alien introduction should look, shall I say, pretty sweet. So you want to make sure these are all together, because it's all got to stay on screen, shall I say. All these bits, so basically the tiles don't bugger off like this one did. Just make sure it lasts throughout the entire composition. So I'm hoping you've got a rough idea on how to put this together. Obviously it's a bit of a painstaking title sequence to do, but obviously I'm hoping you've learned a little bit about creating things like this, and obviously using doing some editing in Premiere Pro, as well as creating some stuff in After Effects, Lumikey, so on and so on. So if you have enjoyed this Alien Titles tutorial, remember a like rating would definitely be appreciated, guys, and as always I will definitely catch you in the next video. Ciao ciao.